With the introduction of sailing to Old School RuneScape and the upcoming Winter Summit on January 25th, many have speculated on the inaccessible areas that sailing has brought to the game. One that caught my eye the most by playing the sailing alpha is the Cursed Archipelago. What is the Cursed Archipelago? Why does it have its own orange text on the world map as if it were its own continent? Why do the profane waters that guard it not show up anywhere else? What secrets are hiding here that are waiting to be released? It's safe to say that if you're not interested in potential spoilers, this video is not for you. I'll be talking a lot about the lore of Gielinor in both Old School and RS3. The Cursed Archipelago is an area that actually exists in RS3 and has for a while. While you cannot sail to it in RS3, this area is important in both the lore for questing and in PvM content. In Old School, this area is currently inaccessible and is protected by profane waters, which damage your boat, drain your prayer points for some reason, and is impossible to get past at this point. Upon using a world map viewer, we can see that the entire area and all of its islands are essentially blank slates. In RS3, this area looks like this, though. Maybe hard to see, but you're only able to access it in an underwater area, and while the area does exist in the same location in both RS3 and Old School, it's not actually on the RS3 world map. But what is the area actually used for? Based on RS3 lore, the island is currently inhabited by a small community of primitive ape-like creatures, but you know them better as horrors. The jungle and cave horrors that we find in Old School RuneScape are a race of creature known as Mwanu, and include a few variants in RS3 that are not shown in Old School. While it's said to house these creatures on the island, what lies below is much more important. The main point of the archipelago in RS3 is for the Pieces of Hate quest, and for being a hidden base of operations for a warped dragonkin called the Ambassador. Also located here is the Curse of the Blackstone quest, which is the prerequisite quest for the OSRS Raid. Pieces of Hate sees you defending, mostly harmless, from Rabid Jack and his army of zombie pirates, with the help of a specifically important character called Madame Shi. Madame Shi is a character in one of the previous quests in this questline that you find in the Rock Island prison, which coincidentally was added to Old School RuneScape as well with the sailing update. One of the most important parts of this quest sees you fighting Rabid Jack under the Cursed Archipelago, in which he summons a giant black hand. This giant black hand is actually very important, as it's implied to be an ancient, dangerous entity known as Xau-Tak. Xau-Tak is a pretty mysterious topic in RuneScape 3, and you really only hear about him through various sources of influence. It's said that Xau-Tak had something to do with the death of Ma, the elder god responsible for creating Zeros, his sister Seren, and the Majorat. Xau-Tak is also highly associated with the Blackstone, which is a concept we see during DT2. Xau-Tak's more explicitly active events have to do with sailors around the Cursed Archipelago, claiming the waters were haunted by him, and that they were cursed. He's also confirmed to be the reason that the Mwanu exist on Gielinor. Now let's recap why this is important. Xau-Tak is a malevolent entity that has caused major problems throughout the lore, and is being attempted to be summoned by Rabid Jack for the player to prevent during the quest. And in other content in this area, has corrupted a dragonkin known as the Ambassador, who is important in the Shadow Reefs Raid in RS3. The Shadow Reefs Raid ending in you killing the Ambassador, where he's attempting to summon Xau-Tak with the help of other influences. Back in the Old School lore, we currently sit in a place where multiple quest lines relating to Xau-Tak, the Majorat, and the Dragonkin are all converging. In Desert Treasure 2, the Whisper is a Serenic general in Zeros' army, coming from the Eastern Sea, and is assumed to be corrupted by Xau-Tak and the Blackstone. Before DT2's release, you could actually hear Xau-Tak talking to you if you stood by the crevasse that leads to the Lesser Undercity. At the end of DT2, we see Slisky steal the Elder Horn. Slisky in the lore in RS3 is very much interested in Xau-Tak. At the end of Dragonslayer 2, we see the Dragonkin awaken from their slumber in the Lithcrin laboratory, implying that they will soon be entering the fold. We know that the Ritual of Rejuvenation will be happening soon, a major event where the Majorat sacrifice one of their own to prolong the other's lifespans and powers. And of course, we have Walgalthic Sleeps, where Lucian, the Stone of Jas, and other major events that push the storyline forward happen. At a certain point, these questlines will collide. My prediction is that the Cursed Archipelago is going to be pivotal in this, and Xau-Tak, Slisky, and the Dragonkin will all fight for control of the strings. what do we actually know about Raids 4? Not much other than the fact that it will be a boss rush style raid like Top. No skilling, just bosses. So everything about where it'll be and what the theme of the raid is, they're all totally speculation. But if I had to guess, the Cursed Archipelago is the spot that this makes the most sense. Let me know what you think and post your own theories below until we find out more on Winter Summit, January 25th.